that particular curriculum.
This question is for everybody. Oh, this question is for everybody.
So yeah, I think I generally agree. Yeah, I generally agree with what was just said. I think I'm not necessarily on board with the idea of a Pride Month, and I think just a report, a return to just more academics and putting that first.
This for me is filed under safe and inclusive classrooms. Every child, from whatever community they are from, deserves to feel safe and included and heard. Every staff member, from whatever community they are from, deserves to feel safe and included and heard. And that is my TDSP.
So I would say I really wanted the curriculum to focus on back to basics and delivering a high quality education for all students. That would be inclusive, so that I want to focus on the basics that we need to for our students to succeed in life after school.
I want to comment on this question, how it's phrased in terms of gender ideology. I understand the concern about any kind of ideology, but there's a big difference between teaching diversity and teaching ideology. And I don't think we should teach any ideology. We shouldn't teach what conclusions are correct. We should teach how to reason, how to think. Obviously, it has to be a safe space in which to do that. But we shouldn't be teaching ideology, period. That doesn't mean there shouldn't be a Pride Month, but you have to not teach the conclusion, right? And I want to add, look up an article I wrote on this called Gender Curious Care. I don't think gender affirmation is exactly right. I think it was well-intentioned in a lot of cases, but it's been used against the left, at least in the arguments by the right, even if that's not quite fair. We shouldn't be talking about gender affirmation because not everyone needs every treatment. And actually, it's great for business to say every customer is a customer, and that's not how we should be doing things. We should be saying this is a rare treatment for a rare situation.
Thank you for the question. In my experience, what we're missing is a focus in Ontario, in Toronto, on core issues. Student, teacher, when I taught English in Guangzhou, China, and when I taught English downtown to new immigrants at the Bloor Spadina Church, and I was also when I took TDSP programs myself, what I see must be emphasized for all of you, salam alaikum, is core issues. Students need to get creative skills. Stacey's right, put the cell phones down, take up good math, English, science. Like I said before, gardening is an absolutely great subject. We're all, half the people in this room are gardeners. It's used in Norway, it's used in Europe. We need to focus, we need to get Minister Dunlop, and I will tell my colleagues at Queen's Park, where my father worked for 30 years and where I worked, I'm the most effective candidate who will get the funding to focus on core math, science, physical education, long recesses by fighting. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I remember taking sex ed in grade 5. You and the other concerned parents can exclude your child from going to that class, that lesson that day, but the reality is LGBT stands for lesbian, gays, bisexual, and transgender. So if you acknowledge that Thorncliffe is kind of Muslim-esque and South Asian, then let's say the gay village is gay, right? But there's straight people as well, and there's probably Muslim people living there for the lower rent.
Thank you, sir. We'll take the last question from the audience, and then we have one final written question.
I just have two small questions. Number one is just a couple small questions. It's not gonna hurt anybody. I know, but you're taking my time, so you don't let me speak even. Okay, that's better. So I'm asking, first of all, this is a matter of the Don Valley West, right? I want to see how many people are from this area. How you guys know what problem we're facing here? Because I see most of the people whom these faces are here first time unknown. Okay, only one person I see Masood. Okay, he's doing a good effort. I understand that. But the thing is, the question is, how are you gonna save our children from the those sex ed curriculum? Because he was a part of those groups, who promoting these things and who's bringing these things. So my question is always going to be to you, we fought against these things, and you are standing on the other side. But how are you going to be, just wondering, how are you going to stop these things from now on? Maybe you change your mind, I don't know. This is from Masood, and first question for all of them. They're all different, just writing or not.
Who's starting? So Masood, we'll start with Masood. The first question, the part of that question was for you directly, Masood. We can start there.
That in writing for than 21 years now is in Canada, and this writing my home. Every single child in this ward, I treat.
I think that is that we listen to you. And I want you to know that your children are protected in the school. And that, yes, absolutely, all material must be age-appropriate. But again, the position is to listen to you and for you to not feel pressured or concerned about any of the material that is being delivered to your children, ensuring that they are safe and included.
Thank you, Stacey.
So I've lived in Don Valley West, Ward 11 for over 30 years. We brought up 3 children. I have been involved in over 4 schools in Ward, chairing school councils, numerous fundraising initiatives, still supporting 2 high school teams. So I'm quite engaged within the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Dana. Adam?
Hi, everyone. I mentioned at the outset that my late father taught at Don Mills Collegiate, so I have a sort of spiritual connection to the area, at least the way I feel it personally. And what I didn't mention is that my partner, who's not a public figure, lives at the corner of the riding, so if I win this election, I can afford to start a family here. So I will have real skin in the game.
I was born at North York General Hospital, and I have the fortune of having 2 wonderful nephews, Habibi number 1 and Habibi number 2. My first nephew is at York Mills Collegiate, which is a little north of here, as you know, and my other nephew graduated and is already working. I've been in this ward, born in North York General, lived in the ward for about 4 years. My family lives in the ward, my mother, my brother, and my nephew. Most importantly, with having a nephew like many of you who have sons and daughters, because my nephew is in Ward 11, Jason Stevens has 1,000 reasons, inshallah, to fight for every single person in this room. I will never let my nephew down. I want him to be safe. I want all of you to have good programming here. If you see me in Thorncliffe Park, please just say hello, Jason, because you will never not get a call back from this candidate. I appreciate everyone here, and I want to thank everyone for your questions.
Thank you, Jason.
Okay, I live east of the riding. I have lived in East York and North York. I volunteered for the Rachel Chernow-Flynn campaign. I'm currently on the Stephanie Bowman campaign. She's an accountant that's going for re-election. You'll see me on Thursday getting out the vote. I promise to help Rob Oliphant, canvass in his new neighborhoods that are added eastwards because of the boundary changes. I used to work in Leaside Park for a marketing company from 2014 to 2017. So that is my ties to Don Valley West specifically. And lastly, we should acknowledge LGBT students because some of them might commit suicide if we don't.
Thank you, Funny. All right, so this concludes, but we do have